Hello guys, this is Kozo Testmaster and welcome back to another episode of Kozo's Newletter. Okay, this week is actually Far Cry 4 PreThoughts. Pretty much so far I'm gonna tell you my personal feeling. It sounds really hyped and everything, but I'm gonna obviously go through it and analyze as much as I can of what it presents to me. Pretty much Far Cry 4 is pretty much the fourth entry of the Far Cry franchise, kind of obvious. And the developer of the game right now is Ubisoft Montreal, and the publisher, of course, Ubisoft itself. Pretty much the location in the game is pretty much a fictional place called Kairat, somewhere in the Himalayas. Pretty much it's based off Nepal. And this is the cool part about this place. They sent members from the team several weeks earlier in while the game was still in the early development, and they actually took photos, videos, analyzed what was Nepal. But due to the fact that pretty much most of the world, I'm gonna say most of the world, is actually westernized, it had billboards and everything. They kind of, old schooled it by 17th century style, so it's a lot more older, but yeah, obviously has that new modern taste to old school, like more World War II vehicles, military controlling kind of idea, but not really. Like, it's really weird how they project. I don't want to say weird, but really nice how they're projecting it. So they have this art base, pretty much so, and the story goes that you're a guy named AJ Galade, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, who wants to fulfill his dead mother's final wishes, which was spread her ashes in her hometown. Funny thing about that his dad was the guy who caused the revolution in that country, and his mom was a spy for the enemy, which will be Pagan Min, which pretty much you meet earlier, like pretty early in the game when you're pretty much attacked. It's really nice. It's how they really pretty much almost introduce you to the enemy almost right away at the beginning. Pretty much, give me a second to do the skinny. It's how you introduce to the enemy, and pretty much the base of the game is you pretty much wanna choose your path. That's what they're wanting to do. You want to choose your path of what you did, because last time in Far Cry 3 you only had two options, and I can't remember it. I think you had like save your friend or save the country as your two options, if I remember right. Correct me. Most of this is not on the script actually. I'm like kind of free rolling. And right here, this is actually making you make choices based off a mission. Even if one of the missions is destroy a cocaine factory, you could steal the cocaine factory and actually use the profits to help on the good. So that that can really make some weird story bases. That's very interesting how they also, because they're doing that, they want you to see the progress after that. They want you to keep making your own choices on that, which is nice. But enough about that. I won't say enough about that. That's one of the major aspects they wanted. They wanted a nice campaign where people, they can make sure a person could go through the end. But one of the, actually on top above that, making have players having their own control, was the multiplayer kind of aspect, the co-op. They want to maintain campaign but also give multiplayer some sort of reason. So when you invited a friend, you pretty much the campaign mode will shut off and multiplayer missions will appear. So keeping you steady in your own pace, so you don't like beat it ahead of time. So, but this is a cool part when you're actually invited. All the materials you collected, all the things you crafted, everything that happened in your experience will be maintained. So you can still use them outside of co-op. So everything you did, it could be anything else. And this is what comes to the center point where I'm gonna try to really enjoy this. Pretty much the whole idea of multiplayer is that you can actually take these things, these outposts, and the interesting about taking an outpost is the AIs are a lot better than, I won't say a lot well developed, more than Far Cry 3. Of course my phone will go off. Well, it's a lot better than Far Cry 3 because if you shoot, you can't really stand on the rock and and shoot it. they actually will locate you, and they have nice pathfinding, you know, program on there. So that is really interesting. That makes you actually make you develop some sort of strategy when it comes to this. Which will come when it comes to strategy, you can actually use more than just guns. You have actually animals, which pretty much introduces the elephant, and the elephant is really very well respected in this game. It's actually the only animal in the game that you won't get any points by killing, and in fact, you will actually be attacked by civilians, you know, and depending on, you know, how you are seen as in the civilians will depend on who you get as your support when you need it later in your campaign mode. It almost comes down just with a guy with a knife, and that's your support team. But if you are respected, you probably will get a little more soldiers or some sort of people with proper gun and, you know, armor to help you. So that is very interesting how they're doing this. It's very intricate. No more just going through the front door. You might have to distract them with an invasion from the front, and then probably go around the back, or go from the skies with these buzzer helicopters. And it's pretty much a nice technique to get to. You know, it's nice. Just man, I'm like really flabbergasted of this game. So that is really interesting, making you think. And I think that is called Guns for Hire when that co-op campaign. And the cool part is the distance you get to explore. You don't have to do missions still. You can actually explore the world separately, but you still obviously the reason why you're together. If you want to go explore a world, you do that in single player. But the range they give you, it's very decent before you have to, you know, come back together. And so let me see. Sorry, it's like so that. And on top of that, you have new guns. You have this like automatic crossbow. You will shoot crossbows like crazy before you have to reload it. So that's interesting. Also, on top of like automatic ways, you can actually get bonus material when you kill animals. I should have explained it when I introduced the elephant, but when you go hunting, I think in Far Cry 3 you can go hunting, but in Far Cry 4 when you go hunting, if you do a clean kill, not just grenade it, you know, you get these bonus materials. You get meat and probably fur and some other stuff, you know, what an animal provides. So making you actually be very, I say, a real huntsman when in the game. So this will allow you to actually get better stuff early in the game, practice your shooting skills. Because remember, you're at war. This is war you're at. So that's really good. Okay, now we talked about pretty much the basic of the mechanics. Because obviously they haven't really explained too much. They kind of a little hush hush on the multiplayer thing too. So they don't know too much other than the co-op campaign. But I want to talk about the graphics, which I was reading about in this, which I'm actually surprised. I'm actually going to read it directly from the article I'm reading it from, because they did the summary for me. There's no way I could adjust it. So pretty much the little article in the article is called the New Gen Difference. The team is committed to ensuring that players have the same gameplay experience in spite of their preferred platform. But PlayStation 4 and Xbox One owner will finally experience PC-like performance. Quote, generally, when you're on the console, you're developing for the lowest common denominator, and then you up-res or do some stuff for next gen or for a more powerful system or PC, end quote, says Alex Hunchman, and he's one of the pretty much lead directors of the game. Far Cry 4's creative director, quote, Far Cry is a PC developed game at heart. We developed on the PC, and the console version has never seen ultra high PC. This time you're going to get on next gen consoles ultra high PC plus all the new tech. So I think personally it's going to look next gen on console, but it's still going to look gorgeous on current gen. The game is built, no, end quote, the game is built using Ubisoft proprietary Dunya engine. which I wish I did a little bit more research about that. But pretty much, if you have an Xbox 4, Xbox 4, PlayStation 4, or Xbox One, you are going to see what PC people see, which is obviously just by looking pictures. I'm already astounded at the sheer beauty, the detail. I even got my magnifying glass just to see how detailed this magazine this magazine I just read it up could provide. And man, I was seeing the lines on the paper before I saw the pixels on the game, and they are really dedicated. This is no laughing matter when it comes to these graphics. You know, this is pretty much the land is pretty much almost historically right, and you're really gonna appreciate what they have done. I'm gonna try to find more. If they say right now they have some DLCs planned, but they haven't really confirmed that yet. So that is something to look forward to. Or I would say could plan looking forward to. And that's pretty much it. I recorded a little bit more on the Super Smash 4 so I could express my ideas. Now, what I think what the game's gonna be, they really got the nice aspects. They did look at their games, what made Far Cry, good. The problem is they might have a too high of expectation. So when Far Cry 5 maybe comes out, 4 years later, it's not gonna be compared to Far Cry 4 at all, due to the fact that they did such a good job. They have a too high of expectation, and they need flaws, purpose flaws, just so they can continue selling and changing. So that's what's so interesting about Far Cry. The game itself, it has no real basis of what it really is. All we know that everything goes really wrong, really fast, and you have no idea why until later. So that is really, really out there. If you want to check out more, you could head to GameInformer.com/FarCry4 for a month of bonus coverage, including developer interviews, a full profile of Goemon, and the rise of Far Cry, and more. So I've been on that, and it's amazing. Now tell me guys, what do you think about Far Cry 4? You think it's going to be a nice successor from Far Cry 3? Leave it in the comments below. Still have a little bit more time left. Pretty much enjoy the rest of the Super Smash battle I'm having right now. And this crow's got a sword, and I'll see you guys next week. Next week's subject is actually gonna be, I didn't pick a proper video game because I actually wasted one of the two ones I really wanted to focus on the first 2 weeks. I'm probably gonna work on a general franchise, like those general franchises. Now next week I'm gonna talk about Super Mario Bros. The Super Mario Bros. Series, and see what I think, what went wrong, or things I don't like about it. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.